Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, and France's right-wing parties are absolutely surging in their first polling since the start of the race riots that have engulfed the nation of late. According to the latest IFOP poll, the survey found a significant surge of 6% among the French electorate in support for right-wing parties. Marine Le Pen's National Rally came in a strong first with 26% support. The center-right Republicans saw also 3% increase to 11% support. Éric Zemmour's Reconquête Party and the right-wing Débois la France each gained 1 percentage point, garnering 7% and 4% respectively. So altogether, the French right is without equal in terms of its growing political domination among French voters. Conversely, the left-wing parties are all suffering a dramatic decline in support. They're collapsing. Though, in fairness, Macron's party, ironically, actually inched forward 1 percentage point, securing 20% support. But 20%, I mean, that's political disaster for the president's party. Macron's party lost their majority in the French parliament several months back when Le Pen's National Rally had their most amazing national elections ever. They went from just a handful of seats in the French Assembly to winning nearly 100. I mean, it was a huge blowout. It was one of the first signs that Macron's days were coming to an end and that France was indeed turning en masse to the right. But now, as we're seeing with this latest polling, these race riots may indeed be the final nail in Macron's political coffin. As many of you know, riots have engulfed the nation of France over the last several days in response to the shooting death of a 17-year-old Muslim identified as Nahel, who was shot and killed by police officers during a traffic stop in the Paris suburb of Nanterre after he tried to run away from the police, which he's done before. Consequently, a substantial portion of France's migrant population responded by exploiting the event and using it as a flashpoint to ignite a comparable eruption of social unrest to that of the George Floyd riots. A large percentage of the Muslim immigrant population in France is Algerian, about 13%. It's the highest number among the various immigrant populations, Moroccans, Tunisians, and the like. And the War of Independence for Algeria against France in 1954 to 1962, that's still very much a point of contention and hostility between the two populations. And many Algerian immigrants find themselves unable to, or they're unwilling to assimilate into French society. And so, as a result of the social resentment that's been fanned by the same cultural Marxist ideologies that plague our nation, those tensions erupted to the tune of over €1 billion in damages and thousands upon thousands of arrests in these riots. And needless to say, the French population, they've had it. They've absolutely had it with Macron's globalism. They've had it with the bullies in Brussels mandating these immigration quotas. And as these polls are showing, they're moving en masse to the nationalist populist right. And what's so astonishing here is that these riots are not just benefiting France's own national conservative parties. These riots, as you may have guessed, are bolstering the right all over the European continent. You're going to absolutely love this. But first, gang, when was the last time you thought about where the money you pay to your phone bill actually goes? Did you know that in 2021, multiple major phone carriers donated over $10 million to far-left pro-LGBT causes? Most major carriers have almost perfect scores from the far-left Human Rights Commission, which measures these companies' commitment to promoting LGBT activism. Well, my fellow patriot, there is no need to despair. Patriot Mobile is a nationwide mobile phone service made by and for conservative Christian patriots. With 4G and 5G coverage in the majority of the United States, there's simply no reason to keep giving woke mobile your hard-earned dollars. Since 2013, Patriot Mobile has been the only Christian conservative wireless provider in the U.S. bringing fast nationwide coverage to conservatives, all the while supporting conservative causes. We're talking they're pro-life, they're pro-Second Amendment, they're pro-free speech, and they make sure to take care of our veterans and our police. They host events, they give generously, and they've been supporting conservative causes for over a decade now. Gang, what are you waiting for? Click on that link below right now and make the switch today with Patriot Mobile. In fact, if you click on that link below right now, you're going to get free activation with my promo code Turley Talk. So don't wait. Click on that link or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. And let's together boycott woke corporate America today. The race riots in France are inadvertently bolstering conservative populist movements all across Europe. Breitbart Europe is reporting on a mega movement, Make Europe Great Again, rising up like never before. Populist leaders are all across the continent have seized upon the civil unrest witnessed in France as an opportunity to criticize the liberal immigration policies adopted by Western governments in recent decades. These right-wing administrations have cited the disturbing scenes witnessed during the riots as justification for the concerns regarding the proposed EU migration pact. For example, Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki took to Twitter to express his dismay, tweeting out, "Shops looted, police cars set on fire, barricades in the streets. This is now happening in the center of Paris and many other French cities. We don't want such scenes on Polish streets." Similarly, an Italian official referred to the riots as a, quote, certification of the failure of uncontrolled migration and a warning for the rest of Europe. And Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Giardo emphasized that the riots proved that it is impossible to integrate large numbers of illegal immigrants from other cultures into distinctively European cultures. And make no mistake, this is already changing the political map of Europe. Concerns over rising immigration appear to have been the reason for the recent collapse of the Dutch government over the weekend. It was just announced that the coalition of four parties that ruled the Netherlands by faithfully instituting the WEF's green energy policies to the detriment of farmers throughout their nation. They have indeed unraveled. The coalition unraveled because of irreconcilable differences over immigration. One side wanted significant restrictions, while the other wanted to go the way of Brussels. Regardless, what this government collapse in the Netherlands is setting up for is a very real possibility of a populist takeover in the Netherlands. Back in March, in an absolutely stunning upset, the upstart populist pro-farmer party known as the Farmer Citizen Movement scored a massive victory in their provincial elections that determined the makeup of the Dutch Senate. The Farmer Citizen Movement, they're a brand new party that represents the persecuted farmers we've been seeing, right, who've been protesting against the pro-WEF green measures that the Rutte government was imposing on them for months, and they won. They won huge. They won control of the Senate, despite being a party that was just literally a few months old, very similar to what Nigel Farage was able to do with the Brexit party before the last European Parliament elections, where 1 out of every 3 Brits voted for a party that was just literally weeks old. And so now the Netherlands have a very real chance of seeing nationalist populists seizing power and pushing back against the demons in Davos and the bullies in Brussels. And frankly, gang, that's just par for the course for what we've been seeing in the whole of the continent. In Spain, the populist Vox party is potentially on the verge of entering into a coalition government with the conservative Popular Party, or Podemos party, after this month's upcoming elections, which are expected to see socialist Pedro Sanchez ousted from office finally. In Germany, the Alternative for Germany, the AfD, is becoming the country's second largest party, surpassing even the ruling leftist Social Democrats led by Chancellor Olaf Scholz. In fact, the latest polls for the AfD, together with their amazing victory in a local election last month, they're now provoking German officials to try to ban the AfD from running in the next national election. All, of course, to protect democracy, right? Europe as a whole is turning to the right, to the nationalist, populist, and traditionalist right. And ironically, it's their own George Floyd moment that's guaranteeing that decisive turn. Are you ready to join the resistance? Because I'm leading a group of dedicated, courageous patriots who can lead a spearhead into the heart of the secular globalist establishment. We punished Bud Light and Target, driven CNN and the legacy media to near bankruptcy, forced BlackRock to backtrack on ESG, and now we're seeing our conservative-dominated Supreme Court ending affirmative action and protecting religious liberty. In my Insiders Club, I show you concrete steps to take locally and online that will only keep this mass uprising going until the battle is won. Don't wait. Click the link in my description below and join my Courageous Patriots Insiders Club today.